Justice League +1's turn. Wonder Woman, I think Brainiac was here. Let's just check that one, and he is there. Check all the ones not in the zone. Diagonal, in case someone else has moved in there. A lot of attacking this here's. A lot of attacking going on. Check this one, and that one. This one's blocked. Particular context of parts of the perimeter of various ancillary psychological principle tract geometrical quadrilateral structure or occupancy volume for translucent Greek fireplace canopy. Let's check this angrier in that zone. See if you're still based with me. There you are. As the suspected. How neutral, predictable, negligible, homicide. Check this out. See if with Superman. Nope. Only the Man of Steel remains. It was a party at one point. It was a whole bunch of people. Though this is not exactly sure what a party is. Generally, during a birthday party, they bring you a cake and then they sing. So when you say you're having a party, what does that mean? You're going to sing and talk about it, and you're going to sing a different story? You're going to sing a different song and eat a cake without the birthday part on it? Or sometimes they say we're breaking up a party, like a large group of people. I'm not exactly sure. As a means to represent what would be obstructed by police. Like, all right, party's over. Something the police would interfere with. Gatherings, unlawful gatherings. Regardless of what party actually means, how this is deciding to interpret its usage, I'm going to check. These zones the party has been broken up by entropy. Laws of thermodynamics are in play here. And they say, time to get out! Run for your life! Check this one. And that one. Yeah. Check one of these. Superman. Jerk. Who wants diagonal out of these zones? He's still standing there. This might go into a quadrilateral epileptic hypopolemic fit. That's what an epileptic hypopolemic quadrilateral fit, or whatever, a geriatric epileptic hypopolemic fit. I can't remember what it said because this had that whichever particular type of possibly needlessly, erroneously elaborate phrase or colloquial, comical, jovial, comical, humorous expression that referred to a theoretical or a hypothetical theoretical, a possibly a non-medical journal-like condition that might interfere with the ability to correctly use nomenclature itself and to make decisions, and that may be the result of some sort of nightmare generator, mathematical, archetypal, and calculable by Allen Turing, Turing, enigma, code decoding information exhibiting power. Is this the guy? So you're the guy who dealt me 4 damage. Remember the one guy who beat you, Superman. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get that guy. Get away from Detroit Steel. Detroit Steel is the weakest, so maybe I should go for him. Let's get Farah. Now we have to find him. So he's in. Just opening them without checking. Found it. No problem.
Hello. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, Jesse, it's Linda trying to reach you. I need to change our plans for today, so I'm going to try you on our cell phone, my cell phone, your cell phone. Okay, bye.
wonder if you see that angrier can see this whole zone. Check that. That's not the zone this is talking about. Let's see this zone. He's not in it, but he can see it. Or should it be? Probably should be. It should probably be part of the zone, so let's put him in it. Put this bead on there. That'll be Anglers. Bead, yeah, it works. You can also see this one. Mine's there. Angrier is pushed. Diana can make an action. Let's have you move and creep up on Brainiac. Superman might need some help with the robots. Is that Derrock guy's under control? I don't think Brainiac is going anywhere. Or will he? Brainiac is serious. That is serious. Let's have Diana creep up here. Trains now. She's going to be able to see. On the way there, she's going to see all of these. Nope. Bollocks. Haberdashery. And from here, I'm able to see these in there. See that one. These. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Lo and behold. Want to be insouciant, hyperbolic, and diaphanous, inordinately redundant with this speech and lecture. Redundant usage of nomenclature and lecture components of Brava Loja. Let me see these. And also see this one. We can check this zone instead. We're not in that zone, but we can see it. This zone is these three squares of this column transposed across to here. Let's check that one. Nobody's in there. Yeah, the mascara has successfully sidestepped. Being cautious and sneak up on Brainiac and just clobber the bollocks out of that chair. Then you will have nowhere to sit. Then you'll have to stand up. Though mayhaps it shall regret inciting such a powerful and trenchant being to engage us in fisticuffs. Should the need arise. The need. Curious how we define necessity or something. Let's have Superman pull a hypersonic. I can hypersonic for how far? I can hypersonic for 8 with 4 range. Is 8 range. Range gets cut in half when you're using hypersonic. So I could, to get to within 4, I'd have to move 4. Then I could move 4 more somewhere else. I like them odds. So let's do the move action here, since this will involve moving. I'm going to move here. I'll be leaving this zone, but I may end up in that zone after this move is finished. I'm going to be here in the hypersonic. There. Does that change what we could see? It means I can see this zone. No one's in there. Yet. So let's see. This zone. That zone. He's got the pearled isle agaze and fall all over the north and the heart of the land. The nightmare generator incandescent approaching diagram was electrochemical bombs, now power blasts in the water, some scary nightmare generator, mathematical archetype, only calculable by Alentarian boom house, a evanescence for a sperm for hidden dimensions for a quarter mile all over the water top and more than our island. If somebody told you it wasn't true, those men are idiots. Men or women, whichever one they be, are idiots. All of them are idiots. Hold him mouth and hold him fair, man. Hold him mouth. Come here with a pickaxe. Yo, where else would you keep a pickaxe? In a utility closet. Oh, a file rack under my bed, behind in the next to the garden hose. That was a rhetorical question. Found those two guys were still there, staring at you. Then we also found that Brainiac was still there. Diana crept up behind him and. I don't think they're on the board here. The squares are slightly different, but she can move two and then be one away on the board. It was more like this. It's a prop. We'll be doing the actual line of sight and distance and range on the stealth board. It was made by gods, and it's more accurate. Superman and Angrier clear. Is onvermonten manipuleras mentiar koshkoin ifin olash the kaba. Team Justice League +1. Just a 101. Let's check Angrier zones next to some guy. Only Angrier. Brainiac. Did Brainiac leave? See if he were. I think he could be here. Let's check. Now these Angry can see those. He's not in there. He could be in here. He's not in that zone. Not in there. Angry can see that one. That one. See these. Brainiac. Where's Brainiac? This will turn over every stone. This shall dismember every living being and move to the fourth dimension. If you're going to do that, I suppose it doesn't have to mutilate human beings. Might be able to see throughout the interstitial flesh and tissues amidst the microscopic polysaccharide macromolecular approaching diagrams of electrochemical bond scale facets and parts of the flesh without mutilating human beings. That's all shall. We checked, those are all this zone. Starts from this square up this column to here. That's it. Wonder Woman can see all of these. We checked these squares as part of this zone. I'm just going to check these now. Wonder Woman can see up here also. See this one, and there, and there. Would he really have done that? He would have had to stop if he moved here. It's probably not far. He's a guy in a chair. How far could he have gone? What about Teletran? What of Metron's chair? Oh, bloody P-Lex. Palladion brain technology, highfalutin radiation by atmospheric gas and check this zone. We do not check. Check those squares. I think we're going to check that zone. So these squares might need to be checked. So that one. Check this zone. Superman is imitating anyone else. Only Superman. Angrier is in this zone. Check. Nobody but Angrier. So I can see all these. Go in there. Go in there. No, just gonna see that one. This one. That one. check this zone, see how an angle. If it's still there, I might have some kind of neurogenic hypoglycemic shock this time. Pulmonary embolism over here. I don't know. What would that sound like? Just whatever nauseous people sound like. Nauseous, suffocating people. Sounds like the worst. I think I'm going to be nauseous. I think I'm going to be sick. I want a balloon. I want a macaroni cheese sandwich. Macaroni cheese sandwich. They get those. They call them hamburger helpers. Pierogi. It's like tortellini, but with parochialism. We check this zone. Superman's in that zone. Starrock, that guy's still there. I'm going to tan his hide. I think he's somewhere around here. There, alright. Still there. Let's turn this guy into an ancient Germanic Nordic person. Their tan cells, their big eyes, and their slightly slanted olive-like eyes. And their big brown black pupils. I'm gonna slap him. I'm gonna smack that drone. Yeah. Actually, this could hit him from here, but this would like to use hypersonic. Superman is going to do a hypersonic attack. When you use hypersonic, your range is half of what it is. He has 8 range, so now he has 4 range, which means I have to be within 4. So I can move here, so now that we're moving, let's check those zones. Check his movement. So this is going to be a move action. You can now see this zone, which is these 3 squares of this row transposed down to here. I'm going to check it. Video. Nobody in it. And now we're going to win it. We can also see all these squares. Part of that zone. Anybody? Anybody? No. Yeah. Yeah, pretty. My name is Nick. It's big. So I have to move 4 to get within 4. This is 8 away. This is the maximum. This one's been attacking you from the maximum of its range, and they have the same range, but this has higher numbers of targets. Should this do a hypersonic attack? If he has lower defense now, defensive power that doesn't reduce as much damage, that robot still has impervious, which means it still would not be able to, still has invulnerable now, which does not necessarily eliminate all damage, though it's enough that with 4 damage, or whatever amount of damage Superman has now, which is likely less than what he has on his first click. Actually, Superman's damage goes up a few clicks after being changed a few clicks in the way of the precedent representing damage by rotating the dial rotating the dial to the number corresponding to the type of damage that Superman receives. Though we've passed that click, and now he's on that parabola wave. Numeral electrometrics. Numbers representing numeral facets, numeral uno per capita parabola cosine loop alternating bell curve, and the curvature of space. I'm going to move forward. Point being, perennial dictum here, he's 8 away, and we're going to move 4 so that we can be 4 away and make that attack. We checked all of this. See that? Here, I think that's what I'm saying. And then let's go back to C on a diagonal here to get beyond that zone. And all those of the sort not further from the particular translucent Greek fireflade polymer canopy lid container frame. Not that one, or this one. Let's see, this one, that one, and that one. Representing either blocking terrain, or in this case elevated terrain, which acts like blocking terrain for all intensive purposes. Once again, mess that up. Can't do it. I did not correctly assess which squares part of the linear area occupancy precedent that are near the particular parts of the perimeter for the ancillary psychological implements or facets observed or tracked, geometrical, quadrilateral structure or volume occupancy for translucent Greek firefly polymer, canopy lid container, frame container, right? And all of those. We checked this. We actually do not need to do that because we checked that side already. These down. I don't think you can see. Yeah, I suppose it can. Chica. Yes, found one of them. The Bolivian hot clock water maker. What you need to find answers. That's all. Crab-like cancer outbreak. Privacy. Are you privy to the privacy? It's a jumbled mess of little components and slogans and slanderous remarks. This had never seen such errantly outrageous, nude, obscene, intentionally surreptitious and clandestine and subterfuge and fertilise marching at the end of the Louisville lakeside Hague in this person's diminutive and feeble existence. Well, we made the move action. We checked everything Superman would be able to see. Oh, Superman can now see this zone. As you would have expected, it's just their rock. Now we're making a ranged combat attack. Right. Found that Brainiac was gone. Those two guys were still where they are. And Superman moved 4 away. And is now making a ranged combat attack, hypersonic, 10 on your 19 now. No probability control. Going all in, hands barred, nose free. Nose dive. That's 5. That hits 15, not 19. Let's complete that move action. The attack failed. Now we have an additional 4 movement. So we made an attack here. We gotta commit. Like that character from Pulp Fiction. You find an inexplicable translucent cellophane or Greek firefly pouch or white, mysterious clandestine white powder. You gotta smoke it. And then she puts the bag in the center of the table and she just takes off the trench coat. And at the whole time, just staring at the bag, this is a firm decision. We're staying here, we're smoking these drugs. The trench coats are for people who are going places. After this, we're not going anywhere. We're staying here, we're doing these drugs. That's going in my face. Okay, so there's an object. There's an object in a square that is here. I'd like to get here to that object. Then pick it up, and with the next hypersonic, we'll do a close combat attack and get extra. Does he still have super strength? He does not have super strength. Scratch that. Just keep doing ranged combat attacks then. I get to a place where he won't be able to see me. He can't fly, so let's fly up here. Because we have 4 movement. He's on the ground. He has 4 movement remaining. We can, if it's 4 over, we can. We go here. I'm going to go 4 high and land on top of this. I'm still on the edge. He could running shot if he has a running shot. Shoot me? Let's fly up there. Finish my movement. So high. And we're going to check. We still see, I don't think the zones change. We'll be able to see this now that we're flying up there. Nobody in there. Ooh. So, now we're going to take Superman out of this zone. Did not, so we're leaving this place. Now there's nobody in that zone. Everyone dispersed. Or up here. There. We're also in here. So these 3 edges are part of this zone. These 3 are. I'm going to open that. So Superman is now. Superman, wouldn't you know it, has a retail market in timeshares. He's got a snowblower and everything. You pick the right Kryptonian. Look like I am from the high amples healed wisdom. The Stepologian grosters. Historians shall clatter with stentorian rapport throughout the ages and the right to record in their anecdotals like madmen with feverish daughtery hands on the exploits of what happens with the Appalachian Mountain Gatorade grenades. Superman's up here now. You fly. Bye bye bye, Clarence. Bye bye bye. And we can make a sidestep. Let's have Angrier try to find what's this way. So he's not up here. He didn't go here. We checked that zone. Where could he be? That would be ridiculous. This, for a moment, considered outwitting the Earthbound Neutralized, thinking that that was his speed power. Just when you have trouble with character moving, outwit is like the prescription drugs from beyond this subtext of volatile reality, entertainment, information-derived character incorporated board game information of the recreational system variety. You have outwit, you have problems with speed, outwit speed power. In this case, that's helping Earthbound Neutralized. You'd be able to push if you outwitted his Earthbound Neutralized. We're not outwitting Earthbound Neutralized. Stop it. Let's have Angrier. He's probably somewhere within 4 over here. Let's have Angrier descend. Go here 1. Now from here we'll be able to see. You can already see that we already checked this zone. He's not in there. So from here we'll be able to see here. And there you are. So we're based with you now. Put you based. So we found you only needed 1 movement. Let's have Superman's occupied with his robots and robots. Perhaps that will make more cumbersome or hinder, obstruct, stymie your ability to make actions. That's once again. As a result, it once again still finding a different way to suggest a redundant or errant use of outwit as a result of Earthbound Neutralized. For Earthbound Neutralized already negates the willpower. Which is why, and also adding more further aspects to how errant that decision was, and the decision incipient in which is this is the other decision to attempt to outwit the Indomitable, is that the pretext for suggesting that it is errant to outwit Earthbound Neutralized is because it is negating the willpower, which would have made it easier for that character to move around. Perhaps it's time for Wonder Woman and Angrier to start attacking this guy. So Wonder Woman sidestep up. Keep him pinned. pin down till we can get those two other robots out of the way. What do we see? Do we see anything we haven't checked already? I don't think so. See the diagonally up here. Checked this zone already, but we can see diagonally down here. We prefer, if it is we are so inclined, to invigilate, inspect, and observe those squares right there. And this square. Here you go, Superman. That's it. And that is Team Justice League +1. Superman finished the movement up here. Now he's 4 off the ground. He gets, ta-da, an action token. And angrier, turned around. Where'd he go? Found. There he went. Pitch perfect. Sidestepped. He gets conjunction action. What's your Epicodian? That's it for Team Justice League +1. Announcing that attack. 9. He can fly also. 9 on your 17. I need 8 to hit you. 8! That hits 8. And Superman, let's see, he had, I don't know, I can hurt you. Oh, that was pointless, because he still has that damage power that reduces the opponent's attack by 1. If it's a ranged combat attack. Oh, that was pointless! Time for Team Justice League ×1, +1. In any case, the result mathematically exhibits great discrepancies. The errant sort. Otherwise, this would have said disparity. Gonna check Angrier zone. Are you still there? You are still there. Check this. Angrier's in there. Still just Angrier. And check this zone that Angrier, the character peg is in case any other characters are. I suppose you could tell that from looking at how many characters are in that zone. So it's less moving around pegs and objects. Professor, it's better! Right, we got attacked by someone. Angrier was attacked, so Angrier should be able to see, something. Probably not over here. I'm going to check that. Check. This zone is these two of this column transposed up here and this square. And you can see over here. It's not in there. Probably diagonally here. Pretty sneaky, robot. Yeah, they are roboty. If he's not in any of those, it means he shot me from. It's not quite across the map. He didn't quite pull an Ares, but that's ridiculous. It's the drama. It's as far away as you could possibly get from that character whilst hitting you. How am I supposed to get over there? It's bullshit. And Superman, check his zones. He's in this zone. And there's Tharok. Got Tharok and Superman. Superman! We found Tharok already from Angrier's perspective. He's the only one in that zone. You need not check it twice. Unlike Santa's list, Superman can see this zone. And we've got Detroit Steel in that zone. Detroit Steel. Where is that guy? I'm going to check that zone. These 3 squares. No one in there. that this detects. Master square. Check the master square already. He's in here. There was only one character on the zone peg, so let's search the final square of that zone. Check just about every other square of that zone. Good. Put it on there. There. You happy now? You found me. Superman has hypersonic, but could make a ranged combat. This prefers to use hypersonic because then I could get out of... I don't care to be attacked by Therok again. Let's try to get Therok off that first click, because that penetrating psychic blast is becoming a problem. He has a 19 defense, and this has 10 attack. No one has Perplex that this can use. Angrier has Perplex now, actually. Curious. But the Angrier cannot see Superman from where Angrier is. Tuva e manogo adose. Tuva, eno e toya manogo adose. He is very angry. That's Bulgarian now. Because Diana is 2 squares away from Angrier and towards the particular parts in the context of squares and all of their glower and parts of perimeters of ancillary psychological principles used to track the volume, occupancy, linear area, or otherwise precedent of progression for the quadrilateral geometrical metric variety, translucent canopy lid, Greek 5-plate containers. Plate van bam bombardus von Lucia von Strangle. If my souffle falls, I shall bake you a mighty cake of death. Of death. And Diana. And then, which makes this one 2 closer to Therok than Angrier, and Therok presumably to have attacked, unless he has hypersonic, which this suspects Therok doesn't, in the frame of reference incipient to which is this, and not separated from another round that character could have used to move, incipient to that attack. And separate and incipient to that is this frame of reference. And that would put you at 2 less than 8 away, his full range, or the maximum of his range, which would put you at 6 at maximum, and then we could sidestep, which would put you at 4. Even from here, if Diana's not obstructed, Diana could be able to outwit, though this thing would probably obstruct. Diana's diagonal, it is obstructed. We could sidestep out of the way, then outwit Therok, then have Diana charge. We could... he has 19 defense, Diana has probably 11 attack. We could give Diana 12 attack, then go in there, attack Therok, outwit his defense, attack Therok, then have Superman attack Therok, and get rid of this guy. Alright, we're going to perplex up Diana's attack to 12. We are sidestepping one of the here. Diana's diagonal. It does not. It's not that Therok is here, but he's in a position where probably still the contexts of the parts of the perimeters of the ancillary psychological principle used to track the geometrical area, linear occupancy precedent, or otherwise variety of quadrilateral geometrical information tracked. Occupation, volume of translucent canopy lid, container frame, container frame, lids, canopy lids, container frames. That are part of the contexts that are further from the specific translucent quadrilateral geometrical information tracked. Geometrical quadrilateral canopy lid container frames that represent blocking terrain. And so he's still blocking there. But if Diana ran shat here, we would be able to see you. So we're gonna perplex up, attack to 12. Then we're making a move action. We're gonna be seeing this zone now. Nobody's in there. And we'll, from there, be able to see here. These two. Nobody's in there. And we're right next to Detroit Steel. Attack him also, but I'm not going to bother with you right now. A bigger fish to fry, and now see these four. You could have seen that at the beginning of the turn, I suppose. Now, this check. I should have checked that earlier. Now we can see this zone. Check it, Detroit Steel, as this can see already from checking Superman zones. Superman zones on the way. You could also see this. There, one and Harnifern. There, and Diana's diagonal pressed into parts of the perimeter of the ancillary psychological principle track edges of quadrilateral, and there, you're definitely diagonal. Quadrilateral geometrical structure occupying volume of translucent Greek firefly canopy container frame with. Now we're going to outwit Therok's defense. You would announce that to your opponent, and Diana will fly, which means I can move adjacent in this square to Detroit Steel and not have to stop. And Diana has, 11 movement? Oh, Diana might just end this game. Diana. She has 8 movement. Oh, she has 4 charge. Not certain if this should not have made this movement unless it was sure it could complete the action. It can. 4 movement is what is just as far as just what is needed. This can end up here. It's assumed you had 10 movement for some reason, because it's the other Diana has 10 movement. A bit slower now. Oh. Alright. Make that move. Which once again changes what we can see on the way. We're going to see this square, which we already checked for Superman, and Therok. Therok is in that zone. We can see this row also. We checked this already. I have checked it for Superman, because Superman can see it. And presumably incipient, in which is this frame of reference and not separated from it by an opposing turn or around the opposing turn. They could have used itself separated by another one of this turns, incipient to which would be another one of these turns, that they could use to change from the frame of reference in which this observes these squares. These squares are in this zone, these 3 of that column transposed over to this column through that row. Now we're announcing a close combat attack. At the beginning of the turn, you find that Brainiac is still there, recoiling, returning to the truculent focus and sanguinary intent. Nintientes. We found that Detroit Steel is still here, or is there now, and we find that Therok is now here. That's in the zone Superman can see. And then Angrier used that perplex to perplex up Diana's attack. Diana did a sidestep here, then outwitted Therok's defense, though Therok's defense is still perplexed up to 19. Then we made a charge for 4 on the cheese board. It's different. Charge for 4, and now we're making that close combat attack on Therok. Telling you that. Telling you as a convenience to our additional combat champion Amazonian Themyscira Combat League versus the Olympian Gods notification itinerary roster. No, I don't think that hit anything. That's a 4. You have 12 and 4, 16. That does not hit 19. That is a failed attack. You get an action token. Therok is based, at least. He's not going to be making any ranged combat attacks unless he moves. Let's have Superman Hypersonic. Finish that action. It's concluded. Bollocks. And this guy is going to try to Hypersonic. I'm going to do a ranged combat attack because he has no defenses. That might help. Maybe we could probably attack him from here. See you 4 away. In HeroClix ordinarily, there's a diagonal cone in which there's that precedent of tracking parts of the perimeters of geometrical ancillary psychological principles used to track the quadrilateral geometrical occupancy volume occupying translucent Greek fireflake polymer canopy lid container frames. And here, in this realm, this decides that if you're on the side of a building, you can probably see. I don't think that's really a problem. That will not be an issue in this game. Superman can see you from here, and Superman will. Let's get out of here anyways. We're gonna commence a hypersonic. I can shoot you from the beginning of that hypersonic attack, and then make the move action. So let's attack Tharok, and then vacate the premises. Additional power action. We're shooting at you. 10 on your 19. We need a 9. You missed this. Critical hit! Selawi and Sambunganje. So that's 12. That hits 22. And it deals 1 additional damage than it would ordinarily deal. He has 4 damage. That means that deals 5 damage. And that deals knockback, 5 equal to the amount of damage, and there's a wall nearby, and it's of a positioning that is closer to the specific contexts and parts of the perimeters for the ancillary psychological facets and principles used to observe and define, in many ways, the volume occupancy precedent, the occupancy of the volume for the translucent Greek fireflake polymer canopy lid container frame containers that suggest that you may get knocked back into those walls. So you have no defense powers. That's 5 damage. 2 clicks of regeneration. That's his last click. Then he gets 5 knockback into a wall and takes 1 more damage. 6 damage total, and Tharok is down. Now we have 8 movement to use. So, in the second quarter of the game, Superman came up with a mighty tactic with 10 attack on a 19 defense, got a critical hit for a total of 22 attack, and knocked back that character into a wall, dealing 6 damage total, single-shotting a 19 defense Tharok. That's what we call in the vaguely vivacious and Bob Costas-like HeroClix oration biz, turning around and giving Coldcast the giant-reached Robo-Terminator crowbar bitch slap. God damn! Superman will now take the rest of that 8 movement. Let's try to base Brainiac if we can. We can. We're going to be here on the way. We check this zone. We're going to now, we're going through here, so we see this zone. Check it. We got that. Wonder Woman, after Wonder Woman's action, Wonder Woman is now in this zone. And it's starting to gather, it's piling up. Superman is now leaving this zone, and Wonder Woman entered it. Tharok and Wonder Woman here. Superman is gone. And so once we're here, we're now going to be able to see the diagonal path there. I think we're going in that zone anyhow. We're going to see that. Let's check it. See all of those there further and closer to the parts of the edge and the context of parts of the perimeter for the ancillary psychological principle tract, facet tract aspect of the volume occupancy, geometrical, quadrilateral volume occupied, translucent Greek fireflake, polymer canopy lid container frame, diner frame. checking the soul. And that's part of this zone which we checked already. So just checking this. Now that's Calico. Corral. No, the connotations are capturing fish or hunting, human hunting, of humans that are doing the act of hunting. Alright, and now we're going to be here, which that means we can just check the rest of them with one peg. Nobody's in there. Terrific. We're going to go here, check that down, check that. Now we're going to be... I think we checked all of these already. Now we'll check those again. Check that one. And move the remaining 3. 7. Be here. We're going to check this zone now. There's Detroit steel there. Turn angrier. Angrier can do something. Angrier would like to roll regeneration. Let's have Angrier roll regeneration. Therok is finished. Superman moved through here. Fire to the waves. The heels gonna give way. And we descended. We're on the ground now. Angrier will take another action to use regeneration. 5. So he gets 3. He's traded regeneration. Second click. Not bad. Not too shabby if I do not say so myself. That is the end of Team Justice League +1's turn. Brainiac will push to break away. It's time to become the Brainiac. He gets 6. And where are we going? We can move 4, but then after that we get a ridiculous increase to speed.